Welcome to the Psalms Compressed. Today we are going to look into Psalm number 39. Lord, make me to know my end, and what is the measure of my days, that I may know how frail I am. Psalm 39 is a deeply personal and introspective psalm. Attributed to David, it reads like the private thoughts of a soul wrestling with restraint, mortality, frustration, and then ultimately hope in God. It is not a very triumphant psalm, but a reflectant one, a quiet candle flickering in a dark room. The well-known theologian John Goldingay, he interprets Psalm 39 as a deeply reflective wisdom poem, and he highlights how the psalmist resolves in silence. It shifts into a heartfelt acknowledgement of life's brevity, prompting a prayer for mercy and understanding one's mortality. This reflection is typical of Goldingay's method, where he attends to both literary structure and theological weight. Verse 1 says, I said, I will guard my ways, lest I sin with my tongue. I will restrain my mouth with the muzzle, while the wicked are before me. And here David attempts to silence himself in the presence of the wicked, afraid that his complaints or discouragement would dishonor God. It is the image of someone bottling up pain out of reverence, but that silence only intensifies the inner fire. David's efforts to restrain himself spiritually implodes. In verse 3 he says, my heart was hot within me while I was musing, the fire burned, then I spoke with my tongue. Have you ever tried to hold in your emotions to appear spiritually strong, only then to find the turmoil inside growing louder? The psalm reflects a truth we often deny. Inner anguish cannot be suppressed. Eventually, it seeks release. And in David's case here, that release becomes a prayer, not of complaint, but of deep yearning for perspective. Lord, make me to know my end. This is the turning point. David is not merely asking for relief, he's asking for wisdom. His request is not to live longer, but to understand life's brevity. He sees how short life is, a mere handbreadth, as nothing, a vapor. Our culture trains us to avoid this truth. We build, we plan, accumulate, and entertain, and all while pretending we are not temporary. But Psalm 39 confronts us. Life is short. Eternity is long. Choose what matters. David's statement in verse 6 is both haunting, but it's true. Surely every man walks about like a shadow. Surely they busy themselves in vain. He heaps up riches and does not know who will gather them. How often do we invest in what cannot last, like our careers or status, material wealth, reputation, etc., only then to realize these things offer no anchor for our soul? And now, Lord, What do I wait for? My hope is in you. And this is one of the most powerful verses in this psalm. After wrestling with silence and frustration, David lifts his eyes. He moves from introspection to hope. And this isn't just blind optimism. It's a deliberate recentering of trust. Not in self, not in success, but in God alone. David, he realizes that even in life's uncertainties, and there are many uncertainties, God is not absent. God is the only permanent reality that we can cling to. Deliver me from all my transgressions. David, he acknowledges that some of his sufferings may be the result of his own sin. This is not a complaint against divine discipline, but a recognition of his need for grace. He doesn't ask for fairness, he asks for mercy. When with rebukes you correct man for iniquity, you make his beauty melt away like a moth. The image here is quite humbling. Even our finest traits, our beauty, can be stripped away when God reveals what lies beneath. Discipline is not cruelty, it is God shaping our hearts, burning away what is temporary to leave what is eternal. Hear my prayer, O Lord. I am a stranger with you, a sojourner. David, he concludes the psalm not with victory, but with submission. He accepts his role as a traveler, not a settler. He sees himself as a guest on earth, walking with God through terrain he does not really control. This is the psalm's quiet triumph, though. Not that the storm has passed, but that David has found peace with his place in it. Professor N.T. Wright, he sees the Psalms as essential to Christian prayer, to worship and worldview. They were Jesus' own prayer book, and they shaped how he understood his vocation and his teaching. Christians today rightly should read and pray and sing and live this ancient text, not just rely on contemporary worship songs. He laments that many modern churches neglect the Psalms, which were the heart of worship for the historic church over 2 millennia. And I think N.T. Wright here has a point. The Psalms are truly amazing and perhaps a bit underestimated. Try to read 2 or 3 Psalms a day and see what it does to you. I think you will be amazed how it will shape you if you let this text do so. What is also true is that it is not so often that you hear a sermon today from the book of Psalms. In the sermons, there will of course be a few verses and so on, for sure, but seldom not just on the Psalms. And that is why in a way are doing this series here on YouTube and sometimes speak longer sermons on the Psalms at our church. So, what are you waiting for? Dig in. There are plenty of Psalms to keep you busy for a while.